Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be creating a simple script that's going to run within the spreadsheet. So when we make any changes to the A1 cell in any one of the spreadsheets, what happens is that we get an email that gets sent to us that's going to tell us the cell in range A1 was edited, sheet name is new sheet, so that corresponds with that sheet, and the new value is Laurence Svekis. So any edits across your spreadsheet in any one of the sheets in the first A1 cell range is going to trigger this to code to run and execute the contents of the code. So here we've got it checking for the range, and then it's constructing the email message string values and then actually sending out the email message. That's all coming up in this lesson. Go ahead and open up a brand new spreadsheet, and we're going to be adding this onEdit function to the spreadsheet. So under extensions, we're going to be using a bound script. So that means that the script is going to be bound to the spreadsheet. And we need to use a bound script in order for the onEdit trigger to work. From here, select the apps script. That will open up the apps script editor. And this is where we can create our custom function. So the function that we're going to be using is going to be called onEdit. It's going to be passing in an E parameter. So we're going to indicate that with the variable name of E. And then we're going to select the spreadsheet using the E source. So that's going to return back the active or the spreadsheet. And then what we want to do is we want to select whatever the active sheet object is. So selecting the spreadsheet and then using the function getActiveSheet will return back whatever the current active sheet is. So the way that this will work is depending on any one of our spreadsheets. We notice that we've got 5 different spreadsheets here. So any edits on any of the spreadsheets is going to activate that current as the spreadsheet. And then this is where we're going to be able to select the range that we want to monitor. So selecting out the range. And in this case, we're going to monitor the range of A1. So just the first cell in any one of the spreadsheets is going to activate this trigger. So let's check to see if the edited cell is within the defined range. So with this, we need a condition. So we're using the condition of E range. So that's the edited range. And we want to get the A notation. So this is going to be returning back the sheet part of the range that we're going to be looking for. So in this case, we're going to be looking at the A1 sheet. And I'll give you a little bit more detail about this later on. And we're just checking to see if this is going to equal whatever we've set for the range. And if it does, then this is where we can send the email. So for the email, we're going to need some values. So first of all, we're going to need a subject. And the subject of the email is going to be cell was edited. You can customize this as needed. So we're just indicating that the cell was edited. We also need a recipient for the email. So this is going to be the email address that we're sending to. So this is also a string value. This is just my email that I use for editing and recording. So this is going to be where the email is going to get sent to. And it's also the account that I'm using to log into apps script. And then we want to create a customized message. So let's select and we'll create the message. I'm using the backticks. So those are the template literals, which allows us to add in values within a string value. So we can write a message, the cell in range, and then whatever our range value is. So we can indicate that with the curly brackets and the $sign. And we just write that it was edited. And then we can have a new line. So the new value is, and then whatever we've indicated for the new value. So this again is going to come in as E value from the edited. So this will give us a message to send out. And then in order to activate it, we can just use the mail app, send an email, and we select the values. So we've got the email address where we're sending it to, the subject of the email, and then the message that we want to send out to the user. So now that we've got the code set up and we've set it up to the email address, we're going to be monitoring the A1 in each one of our spreadsheets. We want to set it up as a trigger. So right now this is not going to do anything. And also run the onEdit just to make sure that the permissions, you're going to see an error get thrown because we don't have the E object being sent in, because that's going to be only picked up on the automatic trigger on the edit. but this is just, will actually set the permissions to send out the mail. And then once you've done that, then we can go under the triggers. And the easiest way to set that up is in the left-hand side under the main menu. So you've got the overview editor, project history, triggers. Select the triggers. And then we want to go down to the bottom right-hand side where we've got the add trigger. And then this is where we can select the trigger. So this will give you a listing of the functions. We currently only have the one function onEdit, and choose the deployment should run, and we leave that within the head. Select event source. So we've got some options there where we can do time driven or from the calendar, but we want to select the source from the actions within the spreadsheet. The event type, so we're checking for an edit. And then this is an option here where it can notify you if there are any errors with the script running. So I usually do set it to immediately, but if you do find that you only want to monitor it every hour, daily, weekly, then you can update those as well. But I like to have it immediately notify me if there are any errors with the app script. So once you've set those settings, just hit save, and now you're ready to go. When you go into the spreadsheet, if you make any edits within the A1 cell of the spreadsheet, it's going to run the script. And we can see that whenever we've got the project history there, so we've got the code, and then under the executions, we can see that this was completed, it was run. So going back into our email, here we've got the email that was sent and created to us. So we see that cell in range A1 was edited, new value is Laurence. You can also customize this, and we can include the sheet that it was edited. Let's call this S name, and then let's create a variable, and we'll get the sheet name. That's the whatever the sheet active sheet is, and here we just get the name object. So this will return back the sheet name, and that will include it within the list there. So it'll then tell us which sheet was edited and what sheet name was edited. So just going back to my inbox, going to clear that. So we've got this as sheet 4, so new sheet. So we've got a new name there. I'm just going to update this to be Laurence instead of Laurence 2 there. It's going to run the script, and there we've got the cell in range A was edited, sheet name, new sheet, and the new value is going to be Laurence. So if you edit anything else in any other cells, it's not going to run the code because it's only listening for that A1 cell. If we go into any one of the other sheets, and let's go into examples, instead of question, it'll say answer. And then that should also send out an email because this is now the current active sheet, and we edited the cell A1. So cell A1 was edited, sheet name example 1. So this is a way that you can create a script that can run a trigger that can monitor editing within a specific cell range in your spreadsheet, and it can send you some information about what was edited.